Hey guys, so my name is Leon, and today we're gonna be doing another deck profile. This time we're gonna be doing a deck profile about the Spirit Charmers based on the Spirit Charmers structured deck. It's gonna be kind of similar to the budget deck that you see online. I kind of be able to look at some of the other Spirit Charmers budget deck, and I try to create my own version of it based on the style of play I like to do, which is kind of OTK beatdown style. Anyways, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So for the most part, the monsters I decided putting in here, which would be a total of 23 monsters, in addition to the spells and traps. And normally with a lot of my decks, I like to have 45 monsters maximum. So I like to always put 45 monsters in any deck that I use to have maximum cards that I can, have in there without side decking for the most part. That being said, let's jump right into it. So with the monsters starting off, I decided to put two of each of the earth, wind, fire, and water elements. So you can see two of the familiar possess Aurora, two of the familiar possess wind, two of the familiar possess Hilta, and two of the familiar possess Osua. So what you see here is three of them are the special edition ones. So the familiar possess Aurora, wind, and Hilta are the special edition ones. And with Oswa, both of them are the regular versions of them. So I decided to keep it at two for each element, so that way I can maximize the other types of monsters that I could put in there, and I have space for them without having too much of one element in a deck. Anyways, moving on. The next monster I decided to put in there is Witchcraft Golem Aru, which you'll see right here. Has a pretty good effect. Basically, if an opponent activates a card effect that targets spellcaster monster, I can summon it, pop. Well, not pop, but I can summon it right away. So you see 2800 beat stick immediately. And then basically, the only problem with this card is that it returns back to my hand on my next standby phase, or I think let me check. Yeah, on my opponent's standby phase, it returns back to my hand. So, but on their turn, I can have a 2800 beat stick. So at least I have the card for one turn. I can use it for single summons, or I can exceed or link, do whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a good card to have. 2800, decent attack power. So it's not terrible. I decided to put one Awakening of the Possessed, the Earth one, and then I have, but that's a 200 attack one, and I have the little version of it, which is the 1500. It's called, the monster's called, I think, Nefarious, whatever it's called. So it's good effect. Spellcasters out there, I can summon it from the deck. Well, I think this one I can summon it from the hand, and then if I have a spellcaster and this monster, I can summon this from the deck. It's pretty good. This is why I have two of them. And then I have, or I can possess Inari. I think, yeah, the Inari one. And then I have regular Inari. Then I have one Niru and two of the Gigabytes. So, like I said, maximum plays, I can special summon when I spellcaster. And I could exceed, link, synchro, whatever. It's a good effect to have. And these are monsters, as long as I have spellcast, I can summon it, pretty automatic, make my deck a little quicker and all that good stuff. Anyways, moving on. I have two effect builders. If opponent tries to use effect, I can discard it. The effect's negated, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I don't like about it is its attack power is pretty weak. So, I mean, I can use it for single summon, but its attack power is pretty weak. So, two is fine. I don't really like to have more than two of cards like this, even though it has a pretty solid effect. Last but not least, gotta have Ferrita Luna. I call it the Spellcaster Blizzard, the Neo-Spacian Grandma. If basically, and it's more than Grandma, obviously. Obviously, it's called normal summon. I could add a Spellcaster monster, same attack as this monster, essentially, 1850 to my hand. I could target what face-off monster opponent controls. I can say, hey, that monster goes out of hand, but then I could send my favorite Tallulah back to the hand too. So that's why I call it the Spellcaster version of the Grand Mole. So it's a pretty good effect. high attack power. I can search my spellcasts out with it. Pretty solid. So that's it for the monsters, for the most part. We're on the spells. Spirit Charmers. Gotta have 3 of these. This monster is good because I get to have add one, discard a card, add one spellcaster, to my hand, and then, well, Charmers, obviously. I add one Charmer to my hand, and then have the second Charmer face down, basically. So next turn, I could flip it up, go make plays out of it, yada, yada, yada. Not two. 3 of the Awakening of the Possess. It's another good card to have with the Charmers. Not two. 3 of the Awakening of the Possess, what I'm saying. 3. Damn, that's typo. Anyways, Grand Spiritual Art. Ignaro, good field spell. Negates your opponent's first, your opponent's monster's first effect, essentially. As long as you have spellcasters out. Pretty good effect. But I decided to have 2 because normally opponents actually use their monsters effect more than spells and traps nowadays, especially the current meta of the game. Then I have this field spell, Secret Build Spellcaster, as long as I have a spellcaster. If I have a spellcaster, the opponent cannot use spell cards. If I don't have a spellcaster, then I cannot use spell cards. So that's the only thing, which is why I left it at 1. Because this is not a pure spellcaster deck. If it was a pure spellcaster deck with just Charmers only, then I'll probably have 2 or more. You know what I mean? Anyways, then you gotta have a Raigeki, have some control, pop opponent's monsters, blah, blah, blah. Pretty solid, pretty self-explanatory. Then Terraforming, get any of those field spells to my hand. I see Village of Spellcasters, Grand Spiritual Art and Niru for, whatever field spell I want. So I limit at 1, so I put 1 in there. Then I got Book of Eclipse and Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters, discard a card, destroy up to 2 spell and traps. Book of Eclipse, it's kind of like a Book of Moon, but a little bit different. Like say opponent attacks, I can flip on the face down. The only thing that I don't like about it is when they flip face up, at the end of the turn, my opponent draws 1 card for each monster flip faced up. Even includes my monsters too. So that's the only thing, which is why there's only 1 in there. It's all good though. That's it for the spells. Now we're gonna get to the traps. I won't really explain what the traps do. If you want to know about traps, you can look it up. Look up the name of the card and whatnot. I just will highlight the traps that I feel like highlighting. Anyways, gotta have 3 to possess partnerships. It's a pretty solid card. So someone spellcasts 15 defense from my hand or graveyard attack position or face down defense. And then after it goes gray, I can use it again to actually target possess continued spell or trap card. And then play face of my field. So pretty good card, which is why there's 3 of them in there. Dimensional Barrier, even though it doesn't stop Link, it stops Synchros, XYZs, any one of those things. I can lock them out, the others, so summons for 1 turn, which is why I have 2 in there to slow down my opponent. Unpossessed, if I have not the Familiar Possessed, if I have the Charmers, the 500 attack ones, they can't be destroyed in battle, but Familiar Possessed, they get 800 attack, I think during the battle phase. Yeah, damage calculation, still a good effect, not bad. Anyways, then I have Metaverse and Solemn Warning. Metaverse is kind of like a Terraforming, but for traps, which is why there's only 1 in there, unfortunately. And then Solemn Warning, if opponent tries to use effect, summon, I pay 2,000 life points, I get to negate and destroy it. The only thing I don't like about Solemn Warning is that I have to pay 2,000 life points. So that, let's say if I start with 8,000, I'm already at 6,000. Let's say if I'm at 3,000, I'm at 1,000 now. So 1 is good enough. Anyways, that's it for the deck. I'm gonna add some extra decks to that deck. What I'm saying, I'm gonna add some extra monsters, from the extra deck to it soon. I haven't really focused on it because I had other decks I've been working on. But yeah, it's a pretty solid deck to play casually. Like I said, I'm a casual duelist. I'm not a pro duelist. I'm just building these decks because long-time Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and I love to, play with my friends and whatnot. I never went to tournaments or anything like that. Anyways, let me know what you think about the cards. There's some extra monster you want me to add to it. Write down in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and adios.